Alright, so you guys can tell I got the rotating assembly back together. My rod side clearances are 8 thousandths, which are good. That's within factory tolerances. The oil pump is on. I also checked my height for the pickup. So this is important, and you guys want to always make sure that you're not bottoming out the pickup on the oil pan and restricting it. And you also want to make sure that it's not too far away. This one is within an eighth of an inch. I measured it. It's 8 1/4 from the tip of the pickup to the pan rail. And measuring on the pan rail to the bottom of the pan is 8 3/8. So I got about an eighth of an inch there of a gap between the pickup and the oil pan. Now I did have to bend it a little bit, and you want to inspect it and make sure that it's not cracked or anything. Make sure the welds are good, and you should be good. I cleaned the pickup. I ran some kerosene through it. I blew it all out. And as far as the rotating assembly, that's done. I do have to weld up the pan, so that's not going to go on today. And I doubt the timing chain cover is going to go on today. But this engine is pretty much going to be done today, for the most part, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. So I'm going to let you guys go, and then I'm going to get the cam ready to install it. I do have to grind the dowel on the cam. It's too long. The dowel on the cam is really long, and instead of trying to take it out, I'm going to cover up the camshaft, grind it down, call it good. So I'll let you guys go. Alright guys, been out here since 10 o'clock. It's about fucking like 6:30. I don't know if you can make out my thermometer, but man, it's like 85 degrees in here. It's a lot warmer earlier in the day, but the engine's pretty much done. Cylinder heads are torqued. Everything in the rotating assembly is done. Cam is in. End play on the camshaft is set. It's just dressed up for now. I have to degree the cam, which I want to do with the cylinder heads on because I don't have a good bridge to stop the piston, so I like to use a piston stop. I feel like for me, my feel, I like that better. So really, once that's done, the rest of it can get put back together, and hopefully we can put it into the engine run stand this next weekend coming up. And the transmission is going over to my buddies on Wednesday. So we're moving right along. Things are looking good. Anything that I'm forgetting to mention? It's been a really fucking long day. So, yeah, everything's in. I cleaned up. Engine's ready to just be finished up, and it's been a long day. So what's something you guys should keep in mind is that I have about 10 hours into this. So when you pay a shop to put an engine together, take that into consideration. And I'm sure for them it might even take them longer because they might even be more tedious than I am. I don't know. But there's a couple things I'm going to need. Spark plugs. I'm going to need an HEI rebuild kit. A little odds and ends. I got to write stuff down. I got to make all of my notes for my final numbers. So I don't know if I talked about it, but our piston and wall clearance was pretty much between 4 thousandths and 5.5 thousandths on the high side on all the pistons, so we're within range, and that was measuring them all out. I didn't want to write down every single individual number. I marked my low number, high number. They were all within between 4.5 and 5.5. That's a 1.5 difference. But all the other ones were right around 4.5 thousandths piston to wall, but that's our average. Maybe not the most scientific way to do it, but I know that they're not tight in there, so everything's good. Our rod clearances on the bearings were 2 thousandths on pretty much all of them except number 2 and number 1, where number 2 was 3 thousandths and number 1 is 2.5 thousandths. Our mains are a little bit more sporadic, where it's 3 thousandths of bearing clearance on the number 5, 2.5 on 4, 2.5 on 3, 3 thou on number 2, and 2.5 on number 1, and those are the mains. Our ring gaps were all set to 25 thousandths on the top ring, 31 on the second ring. crankshaft end play ended up being 8 thousandths, and so was our rod end clearance, and our clearance between the rods was also 8 thousandths. The pistons are sitting 30 thousandths in the hole, and I'm going to crunch the numbers, figure out our final compression. It's going to probably fall somewhere around 10 to 1. JJ told me that with these heads and his pistons 20 in the hole, it was 10 1/4 to 1. So we're probably going to be right around 10 to 1 with this setup, which will be perfect. The camshaft doesn't have a lot of overlap. So yeah, we got our final numbers there pretty much. I'm just going to make it cleaner, neater, add the compression ratio, and go from there. I didn't CC the heads because JJ gave me the information on that. That ended up being, they're at 75 cc's. They were milled. So that's why I didn't do that. Like I said, I'm fucking tired. I'm going to call it a night. Go in, grab some dinner, relax, write down some cleaner stuff on that, and plan our next step. So I'll let you guys go.